Look, Mick, now I know you're doing your thing in the rap game. That's cool, but I got an idea for you. Business proposition. Check this out. Mick Jenkins water. That's it. You just make your own water, nigga. Like, it's already sells itself. Come on, fam. What's going on, everybody? It's the Granddad Woolly, and you are here again for another edition of Woolly Reviews Hip Hop Data. We got an album review today. We're gonna talk about the brand new album that just fucking dropped from a Chicago rapper who's been doing this thing for many, many years, drinking all kinds of water. I'm saying, nigga, Mick Jenkins water. It's got a ring to it. I'd buy that shit if it was affordable. Don't be charging like $7 for the shit, because I ain't buying it then. Fuck it. But he's back with a new album. He's breaking mirrors. Nigga, that's bad luck. Nigga, the company's gonna fail then. You gotta wait 7 years to drop the shit now, Mick. Fuck, nigga, I just drink this water from Walmart set. This nigga's back. He dropped some new shit. We gonna talk about it. Talking about the new album from Mick Jenkins entitled Pieces of a Man. All right, well, that's actually just you and it's pieces of a mirror, nigga. But I get what you're saying, Mick. I get what you're saying. For those who don't know, Mick Jenkins is a dope Chicago rapper who's been around for many, many years. He's most notably known for his mixtape or album, The Waters, which kind of broke him out. But he's also had a really dope album called THC, The Healing Component, which was one of my favorites when it dropped. I think it was 2000, was it 15 or 16? It was one of them years, but it was almost my album of the year. It was a really dope conceptual album that had to do with weed and love. Because, you know, and niggas who love weed, like him. But now he's back with a brand new album, brand new concept, and you know we gonna talk about it. And by we, I don't mean just me. I got the homeboy, once again, Luke James in this thing, not the singer, to come through with me and talk about the new Mick Jenkins album, because we did it the last time, so why not do it this time? It only makes fucking sense. So now let's see if me and Luke James think Mick Jenkins' Pieces of a Man is a piece of art, or if, you know, Breaking That Mirror was the start of some bad luck starting with this album because it's fucking whack. We don't know, but we gonna see. Let's talk about the shit. All right, y'all, so we are here with the one and only Luke James, not the singer, to talk about the new album from Mick Jenkins, Pieces of a Man. Luke, how you doing, bro? What's going on?
Good, man. Excited to talk about this project. We did the THC review. That went over very well. And this one I think is pretty good. So how are you feeling?
I'm good. I got my water. I'm ready to drink more water. You know, I came prepared for this shit because, you know, when it's Mick Jenkins, you got to get that water and that weed. But I don't smoke, so it's water, nigga. So that's what it is.
Ah, there we go. Good to go.
So I'm going to let you start this thing off and just give me your quick thoughts of what you thought of this album, especially compared to THC, which we both equally loved. Like, it was like a dope ass fucking album. We both considered it at that time probably our album of the year. So what did you think of Pieces of a Man? And is that also in that same category for you?
I would say I like this one about the same as THC, but for different reasons, because THC, I think, was a bit heavier with the lyrics, the concepts, the experimentation. Even his flow was a bit more all over the place on that one. Whereas with this project, he sort of reined it all in, and he's going for more simplified sounds and ideas. At least that's how I took it. But I still think just sonically, this one is a little bit more cohesive. So that's what I really liked about this. There's tons of great content on here. I really like how he's just taking a look at who he is as a person, how far he's come, and how he's sort of had to shed his ego. So this just really sounds like it's going to win people over who didn't like THC. I think if you like THC, you'll still like this, because obviously you're a Mick Jenkins fan. But if you were, you know, kind of on the fence about THC, I would say still give this one a chance, because it is different. But I think it's fire, man. Not going to say it is album of the year, because there's just been so much out there. There's a lot in the discussion for me. But I think I could see this one in the discussion.
Yeah, man, I have to agree. I think this album is really dope. But at the same time, like you just said, I don't think, because so much has dropped this year, I didn't get album of the year from this. But I do agree with it is, if you didn't like THC that much, this is more of an easier pill to swallow. It's more simplified on the production side. Mick Jenkins is a little bit more direct, but it's still dope. Sonically, it sounds great. The instrumentation here is really, really dope. It's got a real laid back, jazzy vibe to it, which I did like, but it also fits Mick Jenkins' voice and flow so well. And the concept, which is pretty much Mick Jenkins saying, hey, you know, when you're doing this music thing, especially with him, you only see one side of Mick Jenkins. You really don't know the full Mick Jenkins. You're only getting pieces of the man. So he's pretty much giving you all those pieces on this album, from his like relationships to his thoughts on, you know, society and the current state of the game, as well as just the world. And he kind of just brings it all together, which is kind of simplified with that cover with the broken mirror. You get these broken pieces, but at the end of it, you still see Mick Jenkins in every piece of that broken piece. So I think it's a cool little concept. He's great with concepts, especially with the last album with the whole THC, because he loves weed, but also with the heart and love. So here is pretty much more of a personal take on just he is right now in his life and what he sees important and not important. So I think it's really dope.
And I really like that personal touch from him because I feel like since he did get that mixed reception with his last album, especially if you go and look at some other reviews and review sites, just what people were saying, people were very split on it. So as I was listening to this one, it just really felt like he reflected on that. Not to say that he's completely driven by the critics. I don't think Mick's that type of guy. He seems very thorough, very introspective and insightful. But this one is so much more personal that it seems like he kind of took a bit of time away to figure things out. So you're going to get ideas like this on Gwendolyn's Apprehension, one of my favorite tracks on here. Love that Black Milk, wavy ass beat from him, who also made Fever. That's one of those albums I really like this year. Great flows and sing-songy stuff happening. And with Mick's flows and the singing that he's doing, I think he really improved upon both of those. I did like what he was doing on THC, but again, he sort of simplified things here, and I do think that works. But I like on the second verse where he's reflecting on moving on from being a follower who needed validation from others to actually just ignoring, not getting caught up in superficiality and social rules. And this idea of people are trying to be cool and be a star, whereas he's just focusing on being the best guy he can be and making his music. So I really like that idea on this song and throughout this album.
Yeah, I agree. And Gwendolyn's Apprehension is one of my favorite songs too. First of all, the beat itself sounds like some old school video game shit. So I was like, it was like some Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis shit. So I was like, I fuck with this beat already. Black Milk killed it on the beat. But yeah, I agree. Like his theme of just saying, hey, fuck what everybody else is doing. Fuck trying to be cool and fit in the mold, because at the end of the day, what's considered cool now, especially in the era of the SoundCloud rappers where everybody's getting face tats and they on every kind of drug like imaginable right now, it's like Mick's like, that's not cool to me. So I'm just going to do me. I'm going to be me. And I'm going to follow my own path, which is dope, which everybody should do. You should be your own man. So the fact that he's saying like, you know what, I'm just going to take a stance and I'm going to be Mick Jenkins, who I know I should be. And, I think that's cool, Mick. Mick, I think it's cool to be yourself. It sounds kind of corny, but be yourself, because it is the coolest thing you can do, especially in the era where everybody's a follower and they want to just do what the next person's doing or whatever they think is going to get them ahead. So Mick staying his ground and really saying, I'm just going to do what I need to do for myself. That's going to make me happy. Really, really I really respected the song's theme, but in general, the song is just fucking dope as hell. And he's rapping his ass off too. So it all works out.
And it's the same sort of idea on the song Soft Porn, which when I saw that title, I was like, what is this?
Cinemax or Showtime.
You know what I mean? I thought this was going to be like, could have been some questionable shit, but I like the idea here because he's talking about the idea of the naked truth. Like people are thinking like softcore porn. They're not putting it all out there. I know that sounds kind of weird to say. I ain't saying to pull your dicks out.
Softcore porn, Luke. You be watching that. I know you watching on the low. I know.
Still got come on now. You know, back in the day, you had to find those scrambled channels.
Hey, we all know.
Yeah, you might see the pixelization. You hope you see a little nip or something coming out, man.
I think I saw a titty. That's what you be saying. Yeah, you 5 years old wondering what's going on. You gotta have a camera. You gotta have the remote control on the last channel real quick. His mom showed up. Yeah, we all know. We all been there.
Yeah, switching over to infomercials like you're trying to buy a vacuum at that age at 2 in the morning. But I like that idea of soft porn. It was just a cool idea about the naked truth. And he says, give a chance to prove that a man improved. I'ma say I grew. They gonna say I pulled a switcheroo, but they is who. All that jogging in place is cool. And I really like that line because it's true. Sometimes as you get older or you grow and you change as a person, you have all these people who are like, man, he switched up. Like, what's he doing? Like, Luke, you're just this family man now. You don't come out, you don't party, you don't drink, you don't do all these things. But again, it comes back to the idea that Mick was saying of being true to yourself, being happy with who you are and what you want out of life. So I really like those messages throughout here. Like this album just really resonated with me. Some grown man rap, great beats all throughout. This was another one that was wavy. But he does mix it up a bit with some bangers, like that Grace and Mercy track. That was a bit of a tone switch because it's like this gloomy sort of banger. And he says, "This a Game of Thrones. All I see is Cersei." So that was kind of cool. Again, you see people who are kind of, I don't know if I'd say fake. She's just ruthless and crazy. Anyone who knows who watched Game of Thrones, you know what I'm talking about. But even still with that banger, it's still sort of tied into all the ideas that he had happening here.
Yeah, I agree with that. And that track actually surprised me because it's a short track. It's not that long, but the beat was like gritty and grimy. But I got like a low key, like 21 Savage like vibe from this. If you think about it, like, I think I can hear like that from him. But Mick did it in a way where it's like, yeah, you get those vibes, but he kind of made it his own. So it's like that made me think like if Mick really wanted to do some trap shit, he probably could pull it off. If he wanted to do some shit like that was going on now, he could probably pull it off because he sounded really great on that. And it was perfect that he kept it so short. He didn't let it run too long. Because I think if he would have had it like a 3-minute song, it probably would have been like, okay, a little, it would have probably just fell apart at the end. So the fact that he kept it short, I thought was really smart. And, he just came off with a really dope verse. He was aggressive. He's probably more aggressive on here than any other song, I would think.
For sure.
So it came off well. So I liked it. It was a surprisingly good song. Like I think I was going to like it as much as I did. Another song, too, I got to talk about. This is my favorite song. Like, Padded Locks with Ghostface. Come on, man. Oh, that K-Tronada beat, like when that beat, first of all, shout out to K-Tronada, because like I cannot wait to get another K-Tronada album, because like that on the production is like amazing. But like the moment that beat came in, I was like, because I already knew that Ghostface was on it, but when I heard it, I said, there's nobody else but Ghostface that could do it. I was like, this is made for Ghostface to be on this shit. But like Mick came in and that hook is so smooth. Like, please excuse the water bottle habit. I got it. That shit. I was like, go ahead, Mick. Go ahead, Mick. And then like he got a line on there like where he says, niggas biting crazy, already seen death by rabies. Boom acting like great, like it's all gravy, looking crazy on the internet. Niggas dirty dancing, no Patrick Swayze. Like, don't get caught in your Savion Glover for these white boys. Like, come on, like he's just going off. I'm like,
he had bars all over this project.
I'm telling you, he was killing it. And then Ghostface comes in, like, come on now. He says, yo, these niggas mad thirsty for fame and glory. You was basic as a baby daddy on Maury. I was like, come on, bro, you ain't gonna start like that. And then that Offset line that he had, the put a hole in your cabbage, quick to fuck up your party, off your whole set. You can ask Cardi.
Yeah, that was hard.
I had to get up and walk away for a second. I was like, God damn it. Like, that's the shit. Like, when Ghostface wants to, because, like, Ghostface kind of phones in his verses sometimes.
Yeah, he does.
When he wants to, he can fucking kill it. And I think that beat, just like when I said it was made for Ghostface, when he heard that shit, he was like, yo, I'm about to wreck this shit. So, yeah, that song right there, I had to replay that shit like a good 5 times when I first heard it. It was fire. I was like, yo, that Padded Locks, crazy.
Just some really gritty sample-based shit. I thought the same thing. Like when I saw Mick featuring Ghostface, I thought to myself, that's kind of an interesting pairing. I like both of these artists, but how's it going to go together? Great song. I like that. I also liked Reginald. That one had some really beautiful jazz production on it. So light and wavy. And I like when he says, don't call me a hater just because I wasn't fucking with the flow. If it's Reggie, then I got to let you know. So he's just keeping it real with you, man. Again, it's coming back to the idea of truth. He has another line on here that ties in with the pieces of a man thing when he spits, connections will get you brought up in conversation. You basing everything you know about me from moments. I'm more a compilation of composition. It's complicated. And this one struck me because it's especially true in the social media day and age where someone tweets one thing and it's like, this is who this person is and always will be. We dig up tweets that someone said 10 years ago, 15 years ago. And while you can say, geez, that's some fucked up shit. Like, I just feel like with social media, we've just broken it down in that way where we don't try to look at the whole picture or who a person really is. Everything goes out the window all of a sudden because you said one thing that was kind of fucked up. You know what I mean? So again, it comes back to the pieces of a man and he's saying he's a compilation, just, a bunch of things together. So thought that was great. I also like the song Ghost because it's sort of an introvert's anthem where, he's just sort of speaking on how he's focusing on himself and his loved ones again. Really, like, for me, that's what I liked about this album. It just struck me because this is kind of where I'm at in my life now. I do keep to myself a lot, but a lot of that has to do with, I got 2 kids. I got a 3rd one on the way, like within the next week or 2. Like I could get a call in the middle of this, you know what I mean? So it's like this was just a grown folks rap album. It really struck me where I am focusing a lot on myself and my family and the love. I'm not too caught up in all the other stuff that's out there because I don't really have the time for starters, but also I have my own piece, So I really appreciate that Mick was putting that out there throughout this album on a lot of these songs.
Yeah, man, I agree. And that's the song. Ghost 2 was a song that I resonated with too because I'm sort of the same way, especially recently because like I also have a kid. So like when you have that shift in life, when you have that family dynamic, like the things you used to do, like go out, party, hang out, those things kind of just start taking a back seat whether you want to or not. It just kind of falls into place that way. So the fact that he's like, yo, you won't see me out, you won't see me doing this, you won't see me partying. I'd rather, stay at home, spend time with my girl, worry about my family, things like that. you know,
Mhm.
that makes it just show that Mick is like he not only is he an introvert, but he also has sort of a clear head. He's not being caught up in the luxury of being in the rap game, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, he's not like, the biggest rapper in the game, but I'm pretty sure he does well for himself, and he could go out
Absolutely.
and party and go and do these crazy things if he wanted to, but he's making the smarter decision, the wiser choice, and deciding to, fall back. That way he doesn't fall in the trap of being, caught up on social media, caught slipping on Instagram or Snapchat or on Twitter saying something crazy. So I think that was a dope song. Also, another song that low-key, I was hoping it was like an ode to Snoop with Consensual Seduction. I thought we was,
Yeah.
I thought we was gonna get some sensual seduction. I was hyped for that. I mean, the song is still dope, and then the fact that he got Corinne Bailey Ray on there was interesting. I didn't expect. That's another interesting pairing. But that's another song that goes with the times where he's saying like, yo, I like you, I want to smash, but you gotta let me know it's cool. Like I need to hear it. I need to hear it, because these days, we in the Me Too era. Like you can say, you can go ahead and do the thing,
For real.
chicks, and then all of a sudden, like a week later, she can regret it because you ain't put it down right, or you said some fucked up shit, and now you in some trouble. So he's pretty much saying like, yo, I like you, you're thick, I want it, but you gotta let me know you want it too. Like I gotta hear it and record it and write it down, sign a contract, put it in blood, all that shit. So I think that was a. Go ahead.
I just think he's brave for putting that song out, because like I was listening, I was like, I could see people kind of complain about what he's saying, but I mean, there's times where you're in situations and shit is getting hot and heavy, and it's not always said, like, you don't pull out a contract and say, this is exactly what's happening. Sometimes the shit just happens. How do you think I got 3 kids? But
hey, how do you think I got 1? I mean, things happen. Like, hey, it was that.
But I think he did a good job of just covering that idea of just, getting that consent and everybody knowing that it's okay and being in that area. But there's always that space where you're fooling around. She's grabbing your hand and putting it here and doing this and that. And he's just like he says, what is it? I forget the exact line, but he says, say yes, or just tell me. There's something like that. Like, just say this is for real, because you might be doing all this, and then I go to do something, and all of a sudden I'm the bad guy, right? So thought that was great. Another track I really loved is U-Turn. This one is so damn wavy. This is man, like that was one of the songs that I've been going to it in my car. Whenever I get in the car, it's just that laid back shit. Pistol whip, just driving around. Really laid back track. And I wanted to speak on Barcelona right quick. That was one of the singles, I think. But this ties into what you were saying earlier about how, he's not the biggest rapper, but he can do all these things for himself. Because on this one, he's talking about how he went to Spain for less than he thought he was worth. Like they didn't pay him as much as he felt he deserved. But he still went for the experience and for his fans, because he's grateful to be in there. And he also speaks on the state of the rap game, where all these rappers are talking about wanting to fuck your girl, all that plug talk and all those sorts of things. So he had this dope bar where he said, these niggas running with scissors and headed straight for the plug. I thought that shit was dope, because it ties in straight for the plug with drugs. There's so many different things you can take there. Just a wordplay on dangerous lifestyles. And he's really thinking bigger on this song and throughout. So I love the album, and just as a person, I like what Mick is putting out there and how he's conveying it, because whereas THC was a bit more dense, a bit more dense. I was trying to say dense and depth at the same time, but you know what I mean? He was doing a bit more on that one. With this one, he still had great content without overcomplicating it. Like, he's got tons of great bars in here, clever wordplay and all that, but it wasn't like THC where you really had to think about some of the shit and like break it down, and there's much more depth. Fuck, man, I can't even talk today.
Don't say that word, Luke. Just take it out your dictionary. Take it out your vocabulary. It's fucking with you.
We done, but yeah, I just a great album, man.
Yeah, man, I agree. And just going back to a couple of tracks, even the last 2 tracks, Understood and Smoking Song, I think that was a really strong way to end it. I love the beat on Understood. It was really, really, really dope. It's got that like that fucking like old school vibe, that whammy guitar. It was like really, really dope. And it's another dope hook he has on there. But then the Smoking Song with Bad Bad Not Good, I'm like a super Bad Bad Not Good fan. Anytime Bad Not Good's on anything, I automatically like it. Like I love their work. So I think it's just like, it sounded like a jazz cafe. Like if Mick was in the jazz cafe in the 50s and you had him, they had Bad Bad Not Good back it up.
That bass line.
Yeah, like I mean, like Bad Bad Not Good is so goddamn good with what they do. So I think that was a great way to end it, because it was like, after a long album, it's like that last cigarette. You just kind of like to reflect. That's what that song was. That's what that song represented. So I thought it was dope. But overall, yeah, I agree with you. I think this is an album that he really did simplify it, and I think the healing component, why I liked it so much, is it was because it was so dense and it did have a lot to it that you had to break down. But but with this album, I do like the fact that it is simplified because it really is just Mick Jenkins talking about himself. He's really giving us just all the aspects and sides of what he's been going through since then and probably before the healing component. And we get to just see who really he is, like on a personal level, how he thinks, how he moves. And I just think that he fleshed it really well together on this album. And even though it's 17 songs, got a few skits here and there. The heroin flow, like spoken word, I thought was a good little touch that he had. The Percy interlude I thought was kind of funny, talking about how Percy don't ever pass the joint, and like that's his joint. You know, you just gotta watch him smoke it. So I thought that was kind of funny, but overall, I think he did a good job, like I said, just putting together this small, simple concept, but really giving us an insight of who Mick Jenkins is. And I think this is going to be an album that is probably going to fall under the radar with so many albums being out, you know, and still coming out. We got a lot. I mean, we still got a lot of dope albums on the way, and we're not even done with the year yet. But I think it's an album that in his discography is definitely one of his strongest, I'd have to say.
I agree. What would you rate it on your scale, on the Granddad scale?
Man, see, this is hard. So, like, okay, see, I really like this album. Was I in love with it? No, but I was as close to love.
Are you sure? Are you? You sound like you kind of love it a little bit.
I love it a little bit. It's like this fine chick. You know, you love her, but you ain't gonna die for her yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that right now. That's what this album. I ain't willing to die for it, but you know what? I really like it. I think as I listen to it more, I'm gonna grow to love it a lot more. So I'm on the fence. So for the first time ever, Luke, I'm doing this. It's a very highly, almost kind of Granddad approved. So
damn.
How do I say that? Is that right? So I'm gonna put it on the very highly.
I think you should just go. I think you should go all in.
You know what? Should I do it for the culture?
I ain't gonna push you.
Should I do it for the waters? Fuck it. Granddad approved, goddammit. Mick, Granddad approved. I'll give it to you because I fuck with you when I drink more water. And the album is dope.
But I feel what you mean, because I had a hard time with the rating too, because I was like, I like this about the same as THC. Do I go higher? Do I go lower? I'm going to go with a 4.5 out of 5 here with this one, because I love the content, and sonically, there's not a song on here that I heard and I just didn't like. Right. It does have a lot of tracks, but they're all the perfect length. Even Grace and Mercy, you know, where it is just that little banger. It doesn't go on so long that you get bored of it. It's just kind of grimy. It hits you in the right spot. I just love this album, man. Obviously this year there's been so much great stuff that's coming out. With the 4.5, when I drop something with that rating, I'm basically saying like this is something I see in my top 10 for sure. Like that's what a 4.5 is to me. 4s are kind of close, like, you know, probably be in the top 20. This one I really like. I've been coming back to it a lot. Just so very smooth and vibey. Great content. I think he stepped up a lot of his rhyming on here, even though it is simplified. I like the approach that he took here. Sonically, just very cohesive and smooth. So that's how I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. It was hard to rate because, like, I also based it off of how I felt about his last album, because I love the healing component so much. Like, when I listened to this, I was like, I really love this. I like this album a lot. I think I'm going to end up loving it too. And it is definitely worth the Granddad approved. But I just look at it from like, it's so much different than the healing component. It's so much of a shift from that. Like it's like pretty much listening to a completely different artist and album, because he's changed. Like he's improved. Yeah. He scaled back, but he improved at the same time. If you get what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's like how do you gauge that? So yeah, I'm gonna, you know what? Now after I'm thinking about it more, it is definitely worth the Granddad approved, because Mick Jenkins is a dope rapper. He's got a great singing voice. He's improved on that, and he knows how to put together an album, which is not easy to do these days, or not a lot of artists want to do. He can put together an album from a small concept to a big concept and still have it all sound cohesive. Production choices he makes are great. He knows what sounds good on them. His features are light, but they work. Like every feature on here, they come through and they bring something special to this album. So, like, I mean, Mick Jenkins did it again, I will say, but it won't be in like my album of the year discussion, but it will most likely be in my top 15. I will say that, but I don't think it's gonna hit album of the year vibes, but it is still a really dope album.
I got a couple ahead of it. This is one of the ones that's like on the outskirts. There's some other albums that I feel stronger about, but this one's kind of right there. And that's the hard things with ratings, man. Like coming back to what you were saying, where I like both of these albums about the same, but they're two different albums. So I like them both for different reasons. But I didn't feel like this was a 4 either, because I was like, I like this better than a lot of shit I rated 4. I'm not going to say it's a 5 because, you know, I don't think there was like that unique experimentation where, you know, hard to rate something perfect. Like to me, you got to be sending the music in a different direction, or, you know, culture, really doing something different, which I didn't get. But just there wasn't a song in here I thought was bad.
So, yeah, same thing, man. So Mick, you confused the fuck out of us this time. We liked it enough, but we don't know how much we liked it. How that happened? But it's dope. Mick Jenkins always kills it. I can't wait to see what he does next. Because he's been on a roll lately. He really has been on a roll with his projects, and I just think he's gonna get better and better. I think he's just grow every album. It seems like he's just bringing something new or improved to the table. So it's just like I want to see where he goes from this. And yeah, man, it's a dope album. Pieces of a Man. You know, it's. I mean, like, he gonna get 7 years bad luck for breaking that fucking mirror, though. I hope he. So I hope it don't go downhill from here, because I know why. I'm gonna say you shouldn't have broke that fucking mirror, nigga. That's what you get. But yeah, man, I appreciate you coming through, Luke. We done it again.
That's right.
Done it again. And give it a thumbs up, y'all. Let us know what you thought of this album. Make sure you're drinking water while you're listening to it, because it does help the experience, I found. As well as make sure you check out Luke James. You already know who he is, motherfucker. He in the game. He heavy in the game. So make sure you subscribe to him. Subscribe to me. And yeah, Luke, what you got to say? Anything you gonna Millie Rock on him out? What you gonna do?
I'm too old to be trying to act like I'm cool.
You ain't never too old. Hey, I saw a 75-year-old dude hitting the Millie Rock the other day. He was killing it too.
There you go.
I was like, go ahead, old timer. Go ahead and do it. Do it for the old timers. But yeah,
you guys check me out. You know where I'm at. Swing by the channel. The new podcast is up and rolling. Gonna get you on there.
Yeah, check out that podcast, because he just dropped the new one with Mike Seatown doing horror movies. That shit's fire. Yo, that was a dope one. I like that.
Check it out.
So, yeah,
thanks, bro.
Yeah. So yeah,
we'll get you on there. We'll get you on there soon.
We'll talk video games and wrestling. You know, we'll do that.
Yeah, I like that.
We'll talk video games and wrestling.
Okay.
You know, we some big wrestling and video gamers over here, so we gonna get into that. And I got some shit to say about WWE. If you know what I'm saying. So yeah, we will get on that next. But give it a thumbs up, drop comments, let us know what you think of this album. Appreciate you coming through, Luke, once again. And that's it. So until next time I take my leave, Granddaughter, Luke James, Mick Jenkins, Pieces of a Man, dope album. We loved it to a certain extent. We ain't marrying the shit, but we'll smash a few times if they say it's okay, because it's consensual seduction over here. Ain't that right, Luke? All right. But we involved right now, so we don't cheat. Black men don't cheat, right?
Hey.
Right?
All right, let's cut this off. We done.
Yeah, we done. We out of here.